Folks, welcome in. It's Friday night, and you're joining us on the Ultimate Schmoedown Show, where we're going to be breaking down what's happening in the world of the Schmoedown. We got the teams tournament semifinals that we're going to be breaking down, and I must say, my boy Boggs, he was like, been working them thumbs. He's been flexing them thumbs on the Twitter. He's been turning triggers into Twitter fingers, right? Just getting them hits. So I will say, congratulations, Boggs, because you've been reaching out doing them things, getting us a guest this week. The last 2 weeks, actually, you've been reaching out. For the next 2 weeks going forward, you're reaching out, getting all the guests. How are you doing this, man?
Yeah, it's just my favorite players, man. Like, I want to get all the best players on, before Spectacular. Obviously, they've all got big matches coming. They've had good seasons. So yeah, I want to kind of give them the limelight. A lot of them as well have to be said are minorities. I'm always kind of backing the few that are in the game. So always got their corner, always got their back. So yeah, pleasure to have them on and talk all things, talk the whole season really.
Well, I will say, I already hung out with Boggs for an hour today. I haven't hung out with my man Luigi. How's it going, bud? John.
It's me, Luigi. I fight ghosts and I don't like them very much.
That's the first time I've seen that hat. Is that new?
No, it's usually a hat I only break out for Halloween. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, I got a couple events to go to for Halloween, so let me just do a nice, quick and easy Luigi costume. Obviously, didn't do that this year, so now it's more just kind of a casual around the house wear. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I have, of course, been reaching out to guests as well. And next week, I am pleased to announce that both Thad Williams and the janitor from Collider Studios might be coming onto the show once they check their DMs. But they both have DMs.
Well, You know who else has DMs? My man. My dude. This guy was first guest we brought on this show way back when, earlier in the year, kind enough to come on the show. And now he's our second returning guest, and we can spark the flames on who the first one was because we got a lot of dust to kick up in that corral. Bring him on. It's the man, the Cobra, Chance Ellison. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, bud. I'm good. Thank you for having me back.
Dude, it's fantastic. And this is just like, I feel like this year you've just been all over. You've been you've just been spreading them wings, flying through the inner geekdom, through the teams, through the singles tournament. I mean, come on, man. You've been flexing all the muscles. How's it feel? How's it feel?
It's been a great competition. It's been a great season for me. I've taken some hits here and there, but I think overall I've done pretty well.
Yeah, you've definitely shown like that you are a contender. There's nothing that you've done this season to change that fact in anyone's mind. So the fact that you've just been able to continue to go and go and go in all these different facets, keep expanding your reach, keep expanding that knowledge. I keep saying, wouldn't be surprised if you were a 4, you got the possibility of competing in all 4 if you wanted to, but it's just that brain, right? I know Boggs, man. Boggs, it's your boy. We've been waiting on this for a minute. We've been talking about this, man. When are we going to get Chance on again? Here he is. Let's go.
Yeah, like I'm most looking forward to him against obviously Chandru in Spectacular in a few weeks. How's the prep going, Chance? Have you been studying?
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's crazy to go from. It's crazy like the cycle of studying has been for me. I went from like studying all inner geekdom, studying regular for a couple months. Now I'm back to full inner geekdom. It's a weird like back and forth transition, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun getting back to these movies.
Obviously, you've got super good sparring partners now as well. Like,
you got great sparring partners.
Exactly, Deception. You got Mike. Of course, you got Laura Kelly for Star Wars as well in the geekdom. So yeah, you got the best team going in. So have they been training with you as well?
Oh yeah, I mean training is just it's a whole faction affair. We try and get everyone involved. We try and make it because everyone brings their own expertise to the table. And so yeah, I mean I value their input. I value like what they know. So yeah, it's been great.
You guys all just have this aura about you, and it's just been this corruption flavor all year. And it's like, when a player, a thing that I've heard a lot this year in sports is like, is comparing teams like the Miami Heat. I think it's an organization that sustains excellence by knowing exactly what kind of player they want to bring into their organization. Corruption is that kind of organization in the Schmoedown. Y'all know exactly the type of personality that fits the brand of game that y'all want to play. Whether it's the Coyote, whether it's Lady Justice, whether it's KO, whether it's you all bring this. You bring a different. It's same but different. You guys you could be teammates with each other. You guys all play like that. You guys could swap up, and somehow it would all work perfectly. It's just you guys all have that flow. I can only imagine. I mean, these practice sessions just have to be like unreal. Like you guys, if somebody misses a question, or like you guys look at each other like, oh man, I honestly feel like it's got to be similar to Paul Bettany and the Da Vinci Code. It's like, all right, somebody take the hits.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to inconvenience you all with the wrong answer.
I mean, it's fun just trying to see like there's been an underlying theme of like, okay, what can I get this person on? Because that's like a key to this. You don't want to ask someone things you know they're gonna know because you're not learning anything. Like you learn by missing. And so I mean I think that between the core, if you're looking at the core, if like the core 5 or corruption, deception, Laura Kelly, like we just our sessions are just like it's half work, half party. Like every time, and they're fun, and I can't imagine doing such like this with anyone else.
And that's just been the flavor of the year. I feel it's just been seeing you guys fully form into a faction that has one. You guys have a mission statement. I feel like as a faction, there's very few. I feel like it's corruption, it's swag, and even the quirky mercs, as opposed to a team like the exchange. I feel like y'all know exactly the type of player you want to bring in. John, look, bud, there's been a lot of stuff going on this week in terms of matches and all this other stuff. So we're going to get to spectacular later. But we had a couple slapping teams matches this week. We made it all the way to the semi-finals. So the first match, Mr. Barr, that was a heater. This seemed like Upset City was coming in, knocking on the odd couple's door, but Deception put up quite the fight.
That they did, and we're once again talking about the team of Corruption. The Corruption kind of like, I don't know if it's fair to necessarily call them second string so much as it is just second flavor. Where it's like, hey, sometimes when you got that Neapolitan,
the alternates.
Yeah. Look, when you've got the Neapolitan pint, sometimes you're going to go a little bit more into the chocolate side. Sometimes you're going to go a little bit more into the strawberry side. It happens. And then, of course, you just have the vanilla side, which is, of course, Elliot Dewberry. But yeah, the Odd Couple versus Deception. Obviously, the Odd Couple, former team's champions, a team that has been around for quite a minute, a little bit more of a legacy, versus Deception, a team of 2 upstart rookies who have been making a pretty big splash this season. And it was very interesting to see kind of how things were going to shake out, especially in that round 1. We've seen sometimes how round 1s, getting a perfect round doesn't always clinch it, but it's always nice to have that energy going forward. It's certainly helpful. And we got a couple perfect rounds, 2 to be precise. Jeff Snyder talking a whole lot of smack about Marisol, clearly trying to shake her up because he knew he couldn't shake out Adam. And Marisol did miss one question. It was also the same question that Jeff missed. They both missed the airplane sniffing glue question. Otherwise, it took me a sec. I almost guessed police squad too. Like that's a completely fair miss, I would say as well. But that was the only question that got missed at all, which meant that Adam Collins and Mark Andraco both got perfect rounds and the bonus question. So it was 16-8. No, did I write that? I might have written that wrong. Hold on. Let me do math.
9 plus 7. 9 plus 7. So that'd be 16.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So I did write it correctly.
Yeah, you're
I
correct.
mean, I had thought that, maybe Deception was leading coming out of round 1, but no, it was dead even all the way across the board as it was coming out of round 1. And that definitely made people kind of go like, oh, we don't even know what's happening yet. We don't know if it's Upset City. We don't know if it's the Odd Couple, shutting things down. This was truly anybody's game because it was not only tied, but it was tied at a high number.
Absolutely. And I'll throw this to you, Boggs. I felt like Jeff showed his hand a little bit. When Jeff started, I kind of get the first inclination of diving into the challenge. But then kind of having to feel like he had to let Marisol know it wasn't personal. It was just the game. Kind of later on, he kind of let himself fall more into it. Did you see the, did the Snyder did he rattle himself? I feel like he kind of almost rattled himself a little bit there with that challenge.
I actually didn't know. So I thought that, got to admit, Schneider, I don't know, I've told you guys, Schneider is one of my favorite players of all time. These mind games that he does, where he's obviously trying it on a rookie, someone who's obviously not as camera confident as him, a newer player against the biggest kind of team match they've been in. He's purposely done that to try and throw off a game, mind games, tactics, a throwaway challenge. I personally like that in terms of a tactic or a strategy to use. Obviously, it's a bit dirty. Don't get me wrong, but it's within your capability. As an experienced player, that's something that clearly works for him. So, would I do it myself? Probably not. But it is entertaining and it has worked for him. So, Chance, I just want to ask you though. Going into that, obviously going into this match, I'm sure you're there helping out. with the training and stuff. Yeah. So, did you guys talk about Jeff's antics, Roxy's antics, them guys having shots at them, that kind of thing to mentally prepare? And
I mean, yeah, like they're loud players, and they went by playing head games. It's a strategy that's like if you're vulnerable to that, it's gonna do you in. You got to be steel. You got to be ice. Mm-hmm. You got to be ice in the match. That's something we desperately tried to drill into the heads of all our competitors, not just Marisol and Adam, but we tried to get that mentality into everyone in our faction. And yeah, they did what we wanted to do. They kept their composure. They just stayed cool, and they stayed cool under pressure. And yeah, a challenge like that. Look, that's the downside of challenge to try and shake the players.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks great if it works. You look really dumb if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick up on this because while everyone knows that Boggs, one of his favorite players is Snyder, folks also know that one of my least favorite players is Snyder. And while you might say that you like the antics of him kind of going up against Marisol, my mind goes back to the horror free-for-all where out of nowhere, Snyder starts throwing shots at Cameron Rice, of all people. And I'm just like, oh, this is when dude clearly feels insecure. He knows that Deception is a grade A team. He knows that he's not that good at horror movies. So he's like, is there anyone I can start throwing under the bus right now? Is there any person that I can be like, at least I'm not them, right? At least I'm not that loser. And then he loses. Maybe not this time, but we'll get to that. And I would also kind of, again, toss it over to Chance as far as talking about these mind game competitors. Would you say that you guys were more looking at Jeff Snyder, or are you maybe more looking at Andrew Guy, the person in the Lethal Weapons that you, of course, Deception rather, faced in the previous round, and someone that's been popping up a little bit more since then?
Oh, definitely Andrew Guy, because you stop his mind games. That's all he's got. If you stop the mind games, trivia knowledge will carry you the rest of the way. So, yeah, he was the big one. But Snyder's an interesting one because mind games are only 40% of his game. The rest is all knowledge. So yeah, that's something we definitely tried to help more with Lethal Weapons. Wasn't as big an emphasis with the Odd Couple, but yeah, we made sure to try. We tried to get the idea of hey, just don't worry. Doesn't matter what they're saying. The only thing that matters what they're saying is the answers. That's it. That's all that matters.
There you go. And then round two. You want to talk about knowing answers? We had a couple people who knew some answers because we had 24 points on the board, 12 on either side, and every one of them got snatched up by the team that got them first, Colin. We got 2 perfect rounds, and also worth noting, only 1 spinner's choice. That's kind of the other thing that's fascinating. It's not like both factions were able to play to their automatic immediate strengths. It's Deception got to choose one of their strengths and happened to run very well with it. And then the Odd Couple got a category that they were like, yeah, we feel good about this. And then they also, gosh dang, ran with it.
Yeah, Meryl Streep just seems like a category, the adults just feel super comfortable with. It's like I can weasel my way around this Meryl Streep. I've heard of her. I've seen her flicks. And Draco's just got this base knowledge, and I talk about this all the time. Base knowledge coming into this, where he can connect webs Snyder can help. And that's what makes Snyder one of the best teams players we've ever seen in this game, if not truly just in terms of what you need to bring to the team's element of this game, being able to fill in those, circles that your partner just is spacing some. He fills it in with his knowledge. It's just how quick and how decisive he is with his decision making. He's perfect. And then Draco and him, they just complement each other. Like, how could you look at this and say, wow, I can't believe that Deception didn't miss a Spike Lee question, and then I can't believe that The Odd Couple didn't miss a Meryl Streep question. Wow, like that's not on your bingo card, like at all. Like it just wasn't the matchup. I'm just impressed by both of these teams because of the composure that they all brought to this, the way they handled it. It seems that they all understand exactly how to work with one another, which is like, it sucks to see the end result of this because Deception is just on the rise. That's like that's a team that you don't want to play. That they're officially on the list of teams that you don't want to play based on the random stuff that they've been able to pull even without one another. Marisol was able to win the last match while Adam was having internet problems, and she was like, oh, screw this, I got this. And then bam, wails out the right answer, like while he's just in garble robot land. And so this team has just proven time and time again over the last few weeks that they are here to stay. Adam is obviously here to stay because he's got a matchup against Dan Murrell in Spectacular. Doesn't get a rookie 2 spot in Spectacular, which would have been amazing. I mean, that just would have been just spectacular. I mean, take to say, but like, it just would have been. It would have been. You did on purpose, didn't you? No. I didn't mean to. It would have been amazing to see him completely just come out of nowhere from June on. If it would have been from the free agency special, being the first time we saw him, to now being being in Spectacular. I mean, what's it been like for y'all, Chance, just to see, like, did you guys know that this was happening? Like, is this like, oh, you guys kind of you took the pin out of the grenade's Adam Collins, and you guys were just waiting for it to go off because it's unreal.
I mean, Adam was a player that Shannon was very high on. I didn't really know too much about him before drafting him, but our other draft prospects didn't pan out, and seeing that before, maybe we did maybe for the best. Maybe for the best that our other rookie prospects didn't pan out the way we thought they would. But yeah, bringing it out has been he's been a great addition to the team. He's been great. He's a great scheme fit player for us. I think that he came when we needed him because some of us fell short when it came to singles runs, myself included. I'll admit it. But yeah, no, he took the torch and he ran, and he's been doing great. He's a great player, and yeah, it's gonna be good to see him go against Dan in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as your draft picks that didn't necessarily work out, I'm sorry I had to say no. I just had to raise my 3 kids. Obviously, there's a lot going on there. Next season, again, we can talk about it, I promise. But yeah, I mean, talking about just how great these lineups are and just how surprising some of the questions were. I know one of the things that I had kind of clocked was the Odd Couple kind of bellyached a little when it came to those Spike Lee questions. But I was kind of looking at their the Meryl Streep questions that they got as well, and I'm curious what you thought, because I thought they were pretty evenly matched.
Look, Jeff, after your can I curse on the show?
Can't,
right? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Jeff, after your fucking Tyler Perry round, you don't get the right to fucking say shit about the easiness of questions. Like, what's the holiday? What's the Christmas Medea movie called? No, get the fuck out of here. All right, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to complain about the difficulty of questions after you are riding high after skating over that shit. That's not even like softball. It's not even t-ball. That's like. What's like wiffle? That's like wiffle ball level if you're playing with a tennis racket.
Who stars in It's Complicated, that movie where the poster is just Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin? Who's the main person besides Meryl Streep? Is it Steve Martin?
The Meryl Streep questions were pretty base too, but keep in mind, when you really look at it, this category doesn't get spun very often. So, I mean, you think it's spun a lot because how it's like a chant now, but it's not spun. It's not used very much.
Yeah,
and it can be messed up because if you really look at it, like a lot of Meryl Streep's movies kind of blend together. So unless you're like really big, and that's like a really big fan, like if you like get some of our early stuff from like the '80s or like some stuff from the '90s that you don't necessarily know as well, you could struggle. So like it's a crapshoot with that category, but they were pretty. I think pretty base. Any team could have ran those questions. Not maybe not any team, but most teams could have ran those questions.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's one of those things probably where it's like any team could have done well, but maybe not all teams could have gone totally perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think an average team would have done like 8 or 9 in that round. Takes a great team to go 12 for 12, and yeah, a couple they are undoubtedly a great team.
Yeah, and so is Deception as well. Certainly,
So
like the point of that question was more just to be like, this was an even-keeled match, not to try and throw shade at Deception.
For sure. No, I'm not throwing shade at Deception. Just saying, like,
No, please throw shade. Throw it.
Like they're very. When you look at it, like when you look at the questions stacked up against each other, they're very even as far as difficulty goes.
Yeah.
I would say that there are moments where I feel like questions either don't, I would say, live up to the moment, like in terms of difficulty. Sometimes there are some moments where there are some discrepancies in terms of difficulties where you'll just see like where we talk about what is a 5-pointer. Are we asking about a specific plot point of a movie? Are we talking about a specific role in a movie played by a person? What qualifies as an intense 5-pointer? We look at these categories. At least you see, like you said, Chance, the evenness of the category. So we can at least see that in some sense, where at least they were on the same level of the steps of knowledge, if we will use the reference, to see that they came to play on the same side. So I like that it's 28-28 because this is high scoring. This is like, oh my God, this feeling like, ooh, we might set some records, because by the time you could be 38-38 by the end of this, you never know what you're seeing here. So, I mean, Boggs, how are you feeling going into round 3? Because it seems like everyone kind of is right where they want to be. Aside, there's nothing else any of these teams could have done besides one question each.
Pretty much. But I just want to give Leo Logan a shout in the chat. And I see that he kind of comments on a lot of after shows that with minorities on. So I see what you're doing, Leo. So I appreciate you being here.
I'll get to that one later. But
yeah, but then what I was saying, the round 2, obviously going perfect each, but again and again, I think Chance, you mentioned it before when you're on the show. Like if I was playing against you guys or anyone in corruption, I'd make you guys go second. Like I don't know why people let you guys go first. Like get you guys out of your comfort zone. Everyone always does it every match, and it just blows my. You guys are top of the league. You always go first every match, no matter what. And everyone always defers and let them go first.
It's a combination of us. It's a combination of us being confident on the wheel, and we like setting tones. We love to set tones. So we're always. To give us the option, we're probably going to go first every time, unless we feel the wheel is better set in other hands. So. Yeah.
And I saw the if I put in like my sports hat on, my analytical hat on, when kind of Roxy's told Jeff as well that after they've obviously Deception have gone perfect with Spike Lee, she's told Jeff, oh, don't worry, the questions are really easy, because Jeff is like that. He likes to be patted on the back, for his confidence, to get his flow going. So I did like the subtle differences there, like the subtle kind of confidence for him, because it works for these slight things work for him. So I did appreciate that little team talk from Roxy.
I just don't understand how he's one of your favorite players when you're like, he needed to be patted on the back. He needed somebody to come in and be like, no, it's okay, Jeffrey.
Because it's the personality, man. I like the different personality, because he says things that are cringe. He says things that are not kind of straightforward. But I like that different personality because he can still win as well, right? So if he was like getting beat every week, or if he was going out in the first round, but he's 2-time champion, he's winning tournaments or going to finals. So I just like the kind of overall personality.
I mean, we can just take a look at this third round, because this third round, I mean, really is what sets a veteran team apart from a rookie team, and it's just not confidence in the moment, because there is no lack of confidence between the Coyote and Lady Justice. It's just experience, and there's just time, and there's just haven't been in more moments. It seems that the Odd Couple was more suited for this specific one, but again, that's not to diminish this team as a whole a deception because I would again I just don't want to I wouldn't want to go anywhere near them with a 10-foot pole if it was like, hey, you guys want to, hey Boggs, you want to go play in the Schmoedown with me? And it's like, hey, who you guys gonna go against? Oh, you guys are to go play deception. No, I'm good. I'll stay home. I'm
Pass.
good. I'll pass. Yeah, I'll pass, and then they'll never call again. John, this third round, it's just, it's unfortunate we don't get to go the full tilt. I don't get my 38-38 OT, but how does it go?
I mean, it goes and it goes. I mean, right off the bat, we see a little bit of a hiccup early on, right? Not with Marisol, who was the first to answer a question, and she nails her Will Smith 2-pointer. We get our hiccup with the Odd Couples 2-pointer. With this on birthdayness of it all. Now, it's one of those things where I you can argue about the legitimacy of the challenge. I think ultimately it does make sense as a challenge, and I think that maybe it's one of those things where it's like you can argue that the wording of the question, where it's like, oh, if it had specified like fictitious holiday, the exact, do birthdays count as holidays?
Take out the word holiday and the question slaps.
The question is,
it's a slapping question if you just take out the word holiday. What are the Mad Hatter and the rabbit celebrating when Alice walks up to the tea party? Boom.
I mean, the big question is whether or not there was a character that was representative of birthdays in, of course, Rise of the Guardians, the big holiday movie. But yeah, I mean, Chance, as someone that is kind of watching this from the sidelines, rooting on the other team when it comes to this challenge, what were your thoughts on the challenge? Did you feel like it made sense, it was legitimate, or did you feel like it should have carried through? Because it's quite possible that was one of the bigger moments of the momentum really turned against deception in this otherwise very even match.
I think that if you look up the definition holiday in the dictionary, birthday would fit, because I think it's defined as a special occasion that only occurs like once every year. That's a birthday. So yes, I do think that's a holiday. And plus, like, but my bigger thing is like, how do you not know that celebrating the unbirthday? Like that's just such a base question that like I don't care if you want to challenge it or not. You should know that. Like that's just like that's like one of those famous lines, not just from that movie, just from like the Lewis Carroll book in general. Like, that thing's been around for decades, maybe even a century. I don't know. I can't read, but you look. That's why I watch movies. I can't read books. But yeah, I think it's fair. I guess you can kind of weasel your way into it. I don't think I wouldn't. If I was judging on it, I would not rule in favor of it. But I understand. I do understand the mentality.
Colin, you definitely just spent the past few seconds Googling holiday. What do you got?
I definitely Googled holiday. The definition of holiday
what's the
is
definition of holiday?
A day of festivity or recreation when no work is done. So that is very broad, right? That's just okay. What?
That's very broad, but like even then, like you.
Right.
I mean, even when I'm called into work on my birthday, I'm not doing work. You understand?
I got to go to school on my birthday, Chance. I don't have to go to school on Christmas.
I mean, you can still work on Christmas.
That's true. I did work at GameStop for Black Friday, so
exactly.
I guess not this year. I've done it.
So,
We've all
create that division of holiday, but still, like I think you would widely consider holiday something that happens like once every year, especially
definitely, and it's definitely a very. I put challenges into two distinct categories. Would Ben Bateman do it, or would he not do it? Ben Bateman would challenge.
That's the metric now.
That's
Colin's metric.
Hell out of this question.
Bateman's
he would
law.
challenge this all day if he didn't know it.
I mean, he wouldn't know it because Ben Bateman, as he said, does not watch movies, so he wouldn't know it. But
right.
But you're right. No, he would challenge.
It's a sense of pettiness. I wouldn't say petty. I think it's pettiness. It's
pettiness is correct. Pettiness is the right exact word to define a Ben Bateman
challenge. It's a sense of like, how petty are we trying to get about this today?
Chance said Weasley. I like Weasley. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Weasley, petty. You can come over the pond and we could talk about or this or that. It seemed to me that this question particularly turned a tide in terms of, are you kidding me? Of like, I would say if I had to level this out, I didn't know the question off the top of my head. I needed just a couple extra bits, but I could see where Andraco was struggling because he did say birthday. He was like, birthday came to mind, but then the unbirthday, which means it was there in his head, right?
Yeah.
It was there. It wasn't far off, which means it really wasn't a bad question, but a word in the question threw his brain off, which caused the spiral into what we've just talked about. So it seemed that it wasn't they eventually get the challenge. It is a successful challenge, and then brings up the easy Fantasia question. I'm not gonna lie. That's a punt. That's a punt. That was easy. That was oh my god. I was just like, from the unbirthday to Fantasia, it's just like, goodness gracious. John, what else happened in this round? Because after that, it's kind of
sorry. You had brought up, working at GameStop at Black Friday, and so my mind just went to young Colin Morris getting punched in the face over a copy of Raymond's Raving Rabbit.
I had an experience one time where this dad brought his 2 daughters in, and this is the day after Christmas, and returned a Nintendo Switch the day after Christmas because they were bad. And the dad made the girls tell me why they were there returning, like involved me in their familiar drama. And I don't know how much I know about retail, but a Nintendo Switch with games plus accessories is above what I have in my register to give back in cash, which is what this man paid in. So then he and his 2 sad ass daughters, who were maybe 9 to 5 years old, had to stand to the side on December 26th in a GameStop and wait for our safe to open, which takes 10 to 15 minutes for the safe to open. And they're just standing there watching all these people buying this stuff. That's my Black Friday-ness. And we're doing this on Black Friday. So that's my terrible retail story. Back to round 3, John.
Well, unfortunately, in this story, the 9 and 5-year-old daughters would unfortunately be Adam Collins and Marisol McKee, because they got some questions that were a little bit more difficult than Fantasia 2000. It's all subjective, of course. Obviously, we're all younger people here. We all remember seeing Fantasia 2000. But as Leo Logan pointed out with the Nicole Kidman's mother in Far and Away, and I know, Chance, you saw that comment pop up. You had some thoughts about that. What were your thoughts on the caliber of round 3 questions?
I mean, I do want to start on the round. I do want to start on 3-pointer first, because that's like what. A funny thing about that is, I mean, but the Body of Lies one's tough because, I mean, it's just the Ridley Scott movie. No one gives a shit about Body of Lies. No one cares about that movie. But I think it's messed up to call, like, I mean, it's not messed up because it's true, but it's just kind of messed up to throw it in. It's like, who plays this who plays a Jordanian? Like, because you hear that, you're not gonna think. Cliff Curling was a good guess because he can play any race you ask him to. But it's like, you're not thinking like British dandy boy Mark Strong playing a Jordanian.
Good point.
You should.
He's a man of mystery.
You should, because Ridley Scott, and this is something he's kind of been known to do. But it's go look at Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Need Proof. I think that's a tough 3 point.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, I know I'm not wrong. But yeah, coming to the 5-pointer like that, like on paper, you would look at that. People of the younger generation would say like Barbara back, like who the hell is that? Oh, it's Thomas Gibson. Thomas Gibson is in that. He's in that movie. That's right. But
now that's a 5-pointer.
You might be thinking Eyes Wide Shut, because Thomas Gibson's in. I don't think he's in Far and Away. He's in Eyes Wide Shut. I don't think he's in Far and Away.
Ooh, we have a double corruption correction.
We've got a challenge, my friend.
Double check on that. I don't remember Thomas Gibson in Far and Away. I did remember Barbara Babcock. Only reason I knew that one is because I love Hill Street Blues. Like, it was a cop show from the 80s, which was excellent. If you haven't seen Hill Street Blues, go watch it. And she was on that show. It's the only reason.
Thomas Gibson's born in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I live. No way. Wow, look at that.
But yeah, there were tough 3 and 5s, especially coming off that challenge.
Yeah.
So overall. But overall I did see so
he was in Far and Away.
He wasn't Far and Away, that's right. Okay.
So I know I keep patting Odd Couple on the back, but
they kept bringing Thomas Gibson on the sets.
Clearly,
they can't kick him off.
Is he in Days of Thunder too? Did he go 3 for 3? He's not.
No,
Top
he had
Gun?
a killer 93 though. He did Love and Human Remains, The Age of Innocence, and then the TV miniseries Tales of the City, just tearing up the 90s. This guy.
He was just driving around the fucking Universal Studios lot. He's just like, "Hey, you guys filming a new one? You guys
Like,
filming
I'm
a new
done with
one? I'm
Chicago.
here."
Oh, guys, I've done 4 seasons of Chicago.
Someone need a dad? Does anyone in a movie need a dad real quick?
I got you.
Yeah.
You know who needs a dad? I hate to say it. John Roca needs a talking to. There's some people that
needs a dad.
need
What are you talking
a
about?
talking to. Some people just need to talk
Doesn't
to
he
their
count
dad.
as our dad? That's the contract I
But we
signed.
need Granddad Roca. Oh, look who's coming in the chat as we speak of the man coming into the match. Mr. Paul Oyama in the chat.
Yeah.
What is up, bud?
I haven't gotten back to Far and Away yet, so fair enough. My memory's a little hazy, but every time I hear Tom Cruise and Kidman and Gibson, I always think Eyes Wide Shut. So
Fair
so
enough.
because I love Eyes Wide Shut.
Well, we got the man in the chat, so let's go ahead and break down today's match. Super fresh. I mean, I literally just got done with this in the last
Spoilers.
hour.
Congrats on the win, Paul. Anyway, carry on.
Paul, fantastic game. Unbelievable game.
Shut it.
No.
Not
two,
you. Not you. I'm talking to him.
I got you two. You two are my Lamar and my Patrick Mahomes. I'm serious. Y'all two just have this energy about you.
I don't want to be Lamar Jackson.
Okay, look.
Not from this season. I don't.
Okay. Look, I wasn't gonna get into this with you today. We were supposed to play football yesterday, but we didn't play football yesterday. My turkey day was ruined.
Then we're gonna play tomorrow.
And we're gonna play tomorrow. We're gonna play Sunday. Now we're
That's
gonna play.
what ruined your Thanksgiving?
Oh, what was I supposed to do between 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock on what are you else supposed to do but watch football? There was no football on at all. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We've chased
what we
away
had,
Paul.
I was treated to a just unbelievable match between Final Exam and the Founding Fathers. This is Titans going up against Titans. This is 3 singles champions in a match and Lon Harris. What more do you want? That's everything you want in a match. Your brother, John, performed admirably in this match. Clearly. Who knew that Audrey Hepburn was going to be the story of Friday night?
Before that, sorry, I've got to say, does anyone know what Andrew Guy is actually doing at the start of these matches?
Oh, yeah. We can
No.
run that.
I have
back.
no idea. Like,
Nope.
he's not even making the point. He's just like, I'm trying to get what's his. Do you know, Colin? I generally do not know what he's trying to do.
You're going to ask.
I mean, I've got the
You're
answer.
the apologist. You are the Andrew Guy apologist, Hogs.
I take that back. I
No
do know what he's trying to do, but it's really complicated, and I'd rather not get into it now.
Oh, okay. So it's a story.
It's like a
Well,
you've seen Charlie Day in It's Always Sunny
with the jet.
He's trying to tell you, he's like, look, I think I've got it figured out here. I've got this. Every single time he feels like he's just on, the precipice of figuring out what in the world is going on here. It was up to those meddling kids and their darn dog too. Every single time it feels like he gets close to an answer, something gets snatched away. John, do you have any idea what the world's going on here?
Yeah, of course. He's going to challenge Sam Levine.
Oh.
Think about it. If follow me down my little rabbit hole.
Good shout. Yeah.
But if his whole thing is like, hey, somebody's trying to ruin the Schmominati, but of course Schmoedown, but Christian wouldn't want to ruin his own show, and his whole thing is building up to, somehow he's been wronged. Oh, he's the one being wronged. Who's the person who can put him in a wrong situation? His manager. Who's someone that has normally done very well in the Schmoedown, but has not been doing so hot as of late in his new role, and is maybe mad at the game and wants some revenge on the system that has now let him down? Sam Levine.
Oh yes, Sam. The system let you down. That's yeah, cool.
I would look, there's just some folks that are not meant to do certain things in the Schmoedown. I will say this. Sam's one of my favorite people to ever watch play the game. Because most of the time you're just I was impressed that the guy knew what he knew when he first came into the league. You're like, oh, he was really one of the first celebrities that came into the league, right? A working actor comes into the league, gives this league some credibility, and the dude won the singles belt. He was challenging for a team's belt, and he was all over the place. This ain't it. Like, this is Michael Jordan as a GM. Like, yo, dude, like, I get that you, like, really want to do this, and you feel like this is something you should do, but you don't have to do it.
I mean, look, here's the thing.
Now, Michael Jordan isn't going to go play again. I'm not, making that comparison. It's not like, hey, go lace up for the Hornets.
I
But,
mean,
it wouldn't hurt. They couldn't be worse.
With LeVar Ball gonna be in practice now, he might. Who knows? But here's the thing. With Sam's manager, look, he had a bad bite this season. He did. He really did. But sometimes you gotta destroy something before it can be better. Look at calling your football guy. Look at the Giants pre-Miracle in the Meadowlands.
Yeah,
like that play happens, they blow up the team, and then they win 2 Super Bowls in the next 5 years. Not saying they're gonna win championships because we're still a thing. Corruption is still a thing. But I feel like they got a big turnaround in the coming seasons.
I feel like you would have to make a move that would just shatter, what Sam would just have to fully give in to winning, not to making friends, not to making what he thinks is the smart decision. He has to make the right decision. It just doesn't seem like he's making the right decision every week. It just seems to me that he keeps making decisions that put his team in the passenger seat. They're in the back seat of every one of these matches. They just lose control. They just can't seem to find footing, and that's something that I'm really when it comes to Sam in particular. I was big on him as a manager in particular because of that's somebody I would want in my corner.
Yeah,
if I needed a question,
on paper he's a good man. It's like having
exactly.
He's like having Rocky in your corner.
Well,
Exactly.
and let me ask
Problem
you this:
is none of his fighters. He doesn't have a creed. He has Rocky in the corner, but he has no creed in the ring.
what better way for Sam to start leaning into maybe his less personal, bloodthirsty instincts than confirming he's a member of the Schmoeminati, the same organization that just clocked Chance's phone right off of its stand and facing Andrew Guy in a match? I'm telling you.
If Paul can name me a GM of the Hornets in the last 3 years, I'll take that.
Walter Cronkite.
Why are we talking
Anyway,
about
Founding Fathers versus Final Exam was a pretty good
like,
match.
let's pause here. At least let's talk about his match.
I mean, Paul's a big NBA guy, so I'm sure he could.
Yeah, I sweat. Hornets. We just don't talk about it over here in the Carolinas because we don't even get their channel. Like I live in Charleston and I get the Hawks channel. I don't get the Hornets channel as my broadcast because it's like partnered with the Braves, and so they sold it in the Braves package. So I get the All Atlanta sports. I don't even get the Charlotte sports. They've been screwing us over from the beginning. That's a different story. And they're sponsored by Jordan Brand Pulse. Don't do that. Sorry, turns into basketball talk. Back to the match, John.
That's right. Well, as we leave sports, we get to talk about something equally as exhilarating, the film Pixels. Ooh, boy. Peter Dinklage was in that, I think.
He was.
Daddy, what? See, there we go. Sometimes my brain good. Yeah, not quite as clear-cut, even-tempered as the previous match we just talked about. We are talking about 3 singles champions, 2 former, 1 current. But we had 3 perfect rounds as opposed to 2 coming out of this with Paul Oyama, who's here, John Roca, who owns us, and Dan Merle, Scoops McGee, who all got perfect rounds and their bonus question, whereas Lon Harris was not necessarily able to pull the film Pixels, which is fair. It took me a second to just be like, all right, so that is the film with, of course, Adam Sandler, Kevin Jameson, Peter Dinklage. But it takes you a minute to get there, so no shame in that. But it did wind up being 18-16 coming out of this first round. So a little bit more of a definitive lead coming out of the first round as opposed to the previous match. But as we, of course, know, living in the future, first round lead does not a one match make.
No, absolutely not.
Games are not
it's
won
confidence.
or lost in the first round. Like it's 3.
Exactly.
It's a 3-round game.
Exactly. And this is like it's a confidence thing that you can see in some teams when blood is struck, you lose a little step and you step back a bit. Final Exam just kept on pushing through. Wasn't no thing but a chicken wing. And that was something we hadn't seen. And it was just nice to see Lon kind of just say, yeah, I wasn't going to know that. That's what I really appreciate about Lon as a player, is that it really takes something to rattle him in terms of like, he's a miss from him is just, yeah, I don't know that one, because he probably thinks the movie's stupid and he doesn't care. And then he moves on to the next question and he nails it, which, I mean, I think he missed, that would have been question 5 and then goes on to hit 6, 7, and 8. So that's, you know, that's a solid thing where it didn't rattle him too much. He just kept on pushing through and it didn't deter him at all. So Boggs, I mean, you're seeing this, it's 18-16 going in. You got 3 perfect rounds. Are you feeling like the founding fathers, or, you know, scribbling their name on the Declaration of Independence into the final round here? Or are they, you know, is the War of 1812 coming their way? You know all about that.
You lost me after.
Yeah, that's the one where the British took all our tea back, right? That's the one where they're like, "Oh, you want to throw our tea? Fine, we'll take it back then." And then they gave us Pop-Tarts.
Here's a whole carton of cigarettes.
I'm gonna go back to the store and get another one. I'll be right back. And then they just stayed in Europe.
Yeah, but back to the newer founding fathers. So yeah, I mean, much in it. Obviously,
John Rock was at both events, so it makes sense.
Exactly. But yeah, you know, Lon and basically Yama were keeping pace. I mean, that's the key question. Can you keep pace with the founding fathers? That's what, you know, Chanson and Mike proved last time. If you keep pace with them, exactly, you keep pace with them, and you know, you hit your strength, and then we'll see what happens basically. So yeah, just going, you know, obviously only Lon's missed the one question. Everyone else pretty much, everyone pretty much getting a perfect round. But going into round 2, obviously founding fathers went first. They've spun movie quotes. They spun off that and land on Eddie Murphy. But this is where, Colin, I have to kind of confirm what you're saying. Obviously not speaking to his dad, but like the overall, just kind of shaking Roker a little bit. Like, so, you know, his like, I want to say behavior in this round was a little bit like, I've got to be, you know, objective as much as I can, but, you know, this kind of nice guy, like, oh, Dan, you go first, you know, like, oh, I'm not sure what you do. Or do you want to just guess, Dan? Like, no, like, where's, I don't know if anyone's seen him in the Mark Ellis match for the Smash-a-thon thing. Like, that's what the Roker that we need. That's the outlet. You know, not this nice guy who's playing with, saying, oh, you know, I'm playing with my bro, you know, no, forget that. We need this Ellis, that Ellis outlaw tempo back, that intensity. That sorry, go ahead, Chance.
I was saying, I don't know. We saw John Roca play. We didn't see the outlaw.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he needs to take off the tracksuit. He needs to take it off. It's time to put the mask on. It's time to put the suit on. You gotta look. I don't care.
Go to cowboy hat, Mark one.
Exactly.
Look,
I mean, look. This is the thing that all athletes around the world, have had to do this year. Every single professional athlete around the world has had to throw out the part of their game that is driven by the crowd. Every single team. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers, shout out to y'all, going out there 10-0, doesn't matter what the situation is, play the game that's in front of you, and you win the damn game. It's impressive. Roca seems to be in these moments. He handles each one differently. I have seen 3 to 4 different John Rocas over the last 5 months. Whether it's the Smash-a-thon Roca that we saw, who was definitely intoxicated, which might be, you know, some super juice, whatever. You might need Michael's secret stuff, right? Right? It's halftime at the Monstars versus the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, and Daffy Duck was just sloshed that entire game.
He needed the secret stuff. And he gets all super ripped and stuff. Exactly, that's what he needs. That's right. There's something in these moments. He's timid, and I think he feels it more than anyone. And the only other person who I think feels it more is Ben Bateman, in feeling limited in their space, where you, Chance, you and Mike find this mental connection that is there in the studio. It's there in the digital space, and it's obvious. It's palpable. Like, I can see that you two are easily, you are intertwined, where you guys know everything that's going on in each other's heads. I don't feel like that's really the case for the founding fathers, at least in this digital sphere. I don't know what they can do to rectify this, because I mean, they don't have any other. I mean, it's over at this point. I mean, I think this might be the last time we ever see the two of them play together.
It's probably could be. Very well could
And
be.
this is not the way you'd want to go out. I don't think this is the way the outlaw would want the founding fathers to go out, but this is the way John Roca saw the founding fathers going out. Boggs, how are you? I mean, you threw it over, man. There's this. I mean, I feel like that's kind of where we're at, is where he's just a different guy in this space.
Yeah, I think Chance literally summed it up there. Like, this is when in this digital format we've seen John play. Just play, him being a nice guy, him just enjoying himself. We haven't seen the outlaw.
We've seen the outlaw, we've seen the outlaw, we've seen the outlaw. We see John Roca. We've seen the outlaw once, and the match didn't even count.
Yeah, exactly. You're completely right. But on the other side, the final exam guys, they've obviously spun their spinner's choice. They've gone for Audrey Hepburn, but it just showed. I mean, it's complete polar opposite of their communication, how they're kind of going through questions. Obviously, Paul's leading the charge there with the Audrey Hepburn category, but answering set questions so quick, clearly done his studying, playing super great. Paul's on fire. He can kind of hang with anyone, any singles player in the game. But yeah, great round 2 for them. But yeah, like I couldn't. It just left a bitter taste in my mouth that how, like, especially that last question on the Eddie Murphy one, like they both didn't know, and John's just like, yeah, just guess. Like, no, just go multiple choice, because
just guess.
That gave them so much relief.
Just guess.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like,
but then he said and then he says in the post, I was feeling it was Famke Janssy. Then say it. Then say it, my guy. Then just say something, because then it reminds me of these teams that we've seen that do not work. These teams that do not have communication styles. These teams that, like, we're talking. I'm gonna keep on going. Brandon and
Jader.
And Jader. I was gonna say Jaeger, like Aaron Jaeger from Attack on Titan. Yeah, I was gonna say or Jägermeister. I was gonna go Aaron Jaeger from Attack on Titan. No, and Jader.
Category 9.
Yeah, Category 9. Like, they just didn't know where they were. They were on a completely different show than a trivia show. And when it came to talking, they didn't know. It was like, well, what do you think? I don't know. Well, what do you think? 5, 4. Wow, great conversation about the question we were just asked, guys.
They haven't got their flow like final exam, like Chance and Mike.
Final
just haven't
exam
got that
literally invented
connection.
the flow for these matches. Like, in Chance, I mean, you can agree with it. Like, you guys have to say final answer, and I'm pretty sure that Paul kind of invented that when they were like final answer.
I think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire invented that. But
yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? And then he just brought it right over.
Well, and I'll kind of put it to you this way as well, Chance, as our resident actual competitor. I think one of the things that, as far as talking about the chemistry between founding fathers in this match, obviously they're both great players. We're members of the Outlaw Nation. Whatever clarifiers we have to put on this, of course.
Great job, John. Great job.
Well, listen, but also John Roca always says, "Hey, you don't need to always, play to my ego. You guys are free to be your own boys." I think personally, a big part of what's going on here is that in being legends of the game and having played for a minute and having won those team belts, maybe Dan and Roca just don't realize how kind of comfy they've been feeling, just as far as how much maybe they've taken it easy in prep, even subconsciously. And then when they are playing in their homes, that's a whole other level of comfort, like being in the place where you literally sleep all the time. Like, that is kind of a weird kind of mental thing to kind of work through as well. And I was kind of curious, Chance, is that something that you've noticed in yourself or other players that you felt like you've kind of had to adapt as well?
Like a complacency? No, at least not for me, because and this is just me speaking. And people call bullshit on me all I want, but I don't care. It's how I feel. To me, it's never been a matter of environment for me. If that helps you, then this is gonna be a problem for me. I think my family experience helps me in this case, because like I was used to doing this for like 1 to 2 years before I went to Schmoedown. So this is going back to what I used to do before. To me, it's always just come down to knowledge. And to these players who are like used to like interacting like face to face, like you need to get used to this if you want to be a contender. Like that's what's going to cause your downfall. It's what caused John Roca's downfall 3 times already.
And if there's one thing
consecutive weeks.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that I think definitely folks need to just buckle down on and really get down, it's dance movies. Because if this is a category that comes up and you're immediately like, nope, then that's no good. Because it comes up pretty frequent. I don't know the stats, but I feel like dance movies is a category that comes up enough where it's like you can't just know
out
nothing.
there who aren't watching dance movies, I don't know what you're talking. Like, there's some good stuff in those dance movies. Like, it might be like, cringy a little bit. Well, guess what's cringy for some people to watch? Horror movies and stuff. I can deal with dance movies. I can't deal with horror movies. I'm better at dance movies than at horror movies.
Listen, Harry Potter didn't give us that Jamie Lee Curtis, John Travolta gif. I'll tell you that right now.
No, but it did give us perfect Daniel Radcliffe dance moves in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Beautiful.
Actually, no, it didn't because he didn't even dance in that
movie. Beautiful waltz.
That's
Oh, he did dance in that movie. Okay, yeah. First dance the U-ball, and then he never danced again because.
And then he never danced again. She says, Harry, grab my waist. He says, you're what? He's like, what?
Grab my waist, goddamn you.
He's like, okay, my bad.
But I wish
someone would have grabbed.
Dance. It's a secret assassin because you never see it coming, and it can be a total kill shot if you're not ready for it.
And Dan is it. Like Dan, how is Dan not ready for that? And why is it that Breanne Chandler is the only one who can get a dance movie question right confidently?
Well, this is why I always got mad when people.
But I'm not gonna give anything away. It's not the only person.
No, I'm sure. No, it seems to be the silver bullet for more people than it's their silver bullet rather than it's in their chamber as a silver bullet. They're going to shoot at somebody else.
It's also just like a weird. It's like a weirdly put together category because it's like what defines a dance movie? How many dance movies are there? Like what counts? That's just
like
weird,
musicals
weird to study for because again a lot of those you look at any step up film, it's just all dancing. Like what? There's no plots in any of those movies.
What
are you gonna get asked about?
They go to that?
Yeah, it's like name a character, name an actor, name the school. You're done. Boom. There. Don't even worry about it.
It's
I want to just before we move off this match as well. I do want to give a shout out to Roker because obviously he isn't in spectacular this year, like Leah Logan's saying there. But often throughout the years, sometimes Roker has been the only minority at spectacular. So me and Chandru spoke about that. I think the first time he was on. So yeah, well, obviously it's a shame that he's not there because he has kind of carried the flag a little bit there.
What? The guy who had a freak out about his draft spot didn't make the final cut? No, you're joking.
Just saying. And I do want to mention
being picked up though, Bugs. You gotta say that flag. Roka might have dropped the flag, but before
there's plenty of people to pick it up this year. Yeah,
picking it up.
He's done his time served. But yeah, I just want to mention something that Christian said. I don't know if you guys seen on SEN that from next season that it looks like the teams format will not be online.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a shame. I mean, yeah. So they're going to start off the season without doing teams in the digital era. So
he was saying that the logistics of switching people into separate rooms.
He thinks it's too clunky. It's he goes the match quality is being great, but just people using code words. He doesn't like that kind of stuff. But I think it's a shame, because obviously some of the best matches we have seen.
Nobody's actually using. That's a joke. It's a joke. If he's sitting there and telling me that that's a joke.
No, honestly, I don't agree as well. I mean,
they just sat there on this episode today and said Darren McFadden, who set the SEC rushing record against South Carolina with Kenny Miles, at Arkansas, and then they go into all these other Dallas Cowboys references. This is a joke. All of these things are jokes. When the silver, gold, whatever the Finstock Exchange used to say, that's all the woozy. It's a he say? It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's all the woozy.
Sure. This is why I ride so hard with Lon Harris, because in this match, he was fully just like, I think that's a sports reference. So I'm gonna say we're not gonna go with football and go with basketball.
Yeah, if those were real calls, like Lon would have been like, yes, CD Lamb for 800, please. Like,
so our teams like not going to be a thing until we can do it like in person
basically.
Again.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not happy either because, like you said, some of the your best win probably this season, right, was on teams, and we've had some of the best matches this year being on teams. So he might not like it, but thousands of other people.
I'll do it if he doesn't want to do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I do think it's a shame. People say they understand it, and that is a bit clunky. People coming in and out of different rooms and stuff. Yeah, I understand, but
it's just a live teams matches. That's the thing. Like editing
the live teams matches. That I can definitely see that.
Those are
being,
bad, especially that
yeah.
first title match. Like especially when we had like 10 minutes of dead air between rounds 2 and 3 for us.
And then 4 to 5 after you're trying to figure out both of you go when both of you have to go for the speed round, and then you got to tally all that up. I can definitely see how in some situations it's definitely not ideal, but none of this is ideal, right? So we got exactly.
You are with what you got, not what you wish you had.
100%. And that's just one thing from this whole year. It's just the teams who have been willing to put everything outside of the game away have been the most successful. And it's just the teams to me that I've just been more and more impressed with. It's y'all, it's everyone at Corruption, it's everyone at Swag, it's Shazam. It's just, this is a season where your game speaks louder than your character. Characters have shown through this season. I think Tom is one of the best characters we've seen, like this season in particular, a blend of character and talent that even I got my dad into Schmoedown this year. He's like, the hell is wrong with this Tom guy? I'm like, listen, he's actually like, you want me to show you like what he's like in real life, or do you want me to like just let you think he's this weird guy under a table? Like the dude, he's been able to do something pretty impressive. But other than that, we've just seen great trivia, and I've still just been happy to see the level of play go up. That I can't wait to see the blend of what we've had this season with play combined with the in-house matches. It's all colliding for season 8, season 9 to just keep exploding, and the stakes to just keep getting bigger and bigger. Can't wait.
That's right.
Can't wait, as Bart Scott once said.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, one thing that did have to wait was dance movies and knowing things about them. And that's the most I've got for a segue. The only question that got missed in round 3
have you
was
ever
the
seen
dance
him that
movies
stumped?
question.
I've never seen Dan Merle that stumped.
What was the question again?
He starred in Save the Last Dance.
That's right.
Yeah,
I grew up on that movie, man. I knew it straight away. He was a star in that, early 2000s, right?
Thomas.
Yeah, with Julia Stiles, right? In the I definitely grew up on that. You Got Served, the kind of dance movies from that era, so I definitely remember them. And
Halloween Resurrection Zone, Sean Patrick Thomas.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
yeah, I mean, and again, that was the only question that got missed. And again, to Roka's credit, like he had that Young Guns one. Like he was kind of ready to go. And again, that was another question where you could kind of see Dan going like, I don't know about this one. And that was definitely one of those things where, as Dan was talking about as well, he kind of knows that after this performance, people are going to be kind of looking at him and going like, is he going to be able to beat Collins? And we can talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it was just enough of a weakness this deep into the game. Like, Final Exam could afford to miss a question in round 1. They could afford to not know Pixels. Founding Fathers couldn't afford to miss Save the Last Dance. Right. And unfortunately, that meant that when, Lon and Paul each got handed their individual questions, they were able to tie it up pretty easily.
But, like, how often does that happen? How often is it that the team coming out of round 1 leading then has the momentum switching miss in round 3? It just doesn't feel, the match was, that's what makes it a great match, is that it was going one way, went the other, was going one way, went the other. It just wasn't like a full blowout the entire time. I have never seen Dan Merle so just out of just didn't know something. I felt like I've really just seen the Russian get cut for the first time, and this has been like a 7. I mean, I've seen him lose before, but not on true like mental gaps. This truly just seemed like something he didn't know, Boggs, and now you're out here saying, yeah, Save the Last Dance is the best thing ever. Yeah, it's just that them dance movies from that era, like Chance was saying, Step Up and Honey. You Got Served, Save My Stance. I was in my teens then. It's just just memorable movies for me. So, but yeah, it was. They've shout out to Paul and Lon. I think they've adapted really well to this digital format. Super hyped, looking forward to the odd couple match. I thought both teams played really well. Good clash of styles. Managers clashing as well. Super excited, can't wait for it. But who have you got for that match, Chance?
Definitely definitely, if you have to put money on it, don't put on Final Exam. I think the combination of the two of them is
Okay.
I think the combination of the two of them is it's a great one. And look, a couple can be a great team when they show up and they show out. They're a great team. It's just a matter of what odd couple we get. So I do think it's gonna be a competitive match, but in the end, I'm gonna take Final Exam.
Interesting. I'm probably going to go the opposite direction, but I'm often wrong, so what the hell do I know? But yeah, I mean, Odd Couple, I think it's one of those things we're looking at. As much as the personality I don't like, Snyder has been on such a huge tear as far as just pure knowledge goes. This time around, he just beat Paul Oyama as well in the singles. Sorry, Paul, if you're still with us, but that is something that he did. And then Mark, especially being able to pull the perfect round one to kind of make up for Snyder missing a question. That kind of strategic challenge. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, that's kind of, in my mind, I think we've seen Final Exam sometimes struggle with some of the top tier teams enough where I'm like, all right, yeah, they did take a loss to Shazam earlier on in the season. I have a few more doubts about Final Exam. And Colin, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this match as well. But I'm also curious, just as far as talking about strategic challenges. There's a certain competitor who some claim to be chosen that likes to do a lot of challenges, perhaps on the level of Ben Bateman. So I'm wondering,
but he's reached God tier? No. No way.
He's gone full super ultra Saiyan, whatever the level of Saiyan is. They've got the blue hair now.
No, it's Super Saiyan God, and then it's Super. Well, technically, it's so stupid. For some reason, they went it was Rose. I don't know why they called it
Super
Rose.
Saiyan Rose.
No, I'm not. I'm
He's
not joking,
drunk.
bro. I'm literally not joking. I don't watch anime unless I've had at least 4 or 5 drinks.
No, that's not.
And it's
we know that's not true.
Are you kidding? I only watch anime in the dark. I can't watch anime during the day. And if I did, it was when I was tearing through Hunter x Hunter, and that's something completely different. That was a religious experience. That was a religious experience. Everything else, I watched Super, and they were like, I am Super Saiyan Rose. And I was like, what in the world?
I had to go find that because that's hilarious.
Bro, it's hilarious because no joke, the character's name who says it first is Goku Black. That is the character's name. It is evil Goku, and he calls himself Rose, and it goes to Super Saiyan God when they're blue. But Ultra Instinct is kind of the new level of peak. My brain is kind of doing all the thinking, and my body is just kind of reacting on instinct in the moment. And that's kind of something where I've been waiting for a player all season to kind of hit that moment, The closest I saw was Adam Collins in the singles tournament, just to just kind of everything you could have thrown at the dude, he was reacting to, handled it, and dealt with it in the moment, and nothing seemed to rattle the guy. Fortunately, we didn't really see him rattled this week. It was only 1 or 2 questions, and I'm not going to hold 1 or 2 questions against what he's been able to do over the last 2 months. When it comes to this match, when you were talking about chance, when it comes to asking, challenges, Chance, this is going to be a huge part. This is going to be a huge part of this match.
Could be.
Chandru has his.
For my match. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. He brought up Chandru.
Yeah,
So he's a player that is going to pull whatever punch he feels is necessary. And I'll compare it to this, and we'll take it straight into IG. Captain Marvel was whooping Thanos' ass, and then Thanos said, "Oh, what if I grab the stone right quick and put the clock?" That's one of my favorite moves in all of MCU history of an audible at the line. Omaha pulls the stone out and punches her.
Very good.
I feel like that's what we're going to see in this match. It's going to be a move like that. It's going to be something that just knocks you completely off your feet when you feel completely grounded. It's going to be something like that where, you two are just titans. Is that I don't know. I feel like you two, it's very hard to prepare for each other because you're so alike in terms of up here, right? It's all your knowledge, everything you two know. I don't feel there's nothing, and I don't mean to disrespect. There's nothing that you know that he doesn't know. There's nothing he doesn't know that you don't know. It's all equal footing. It's going to come down to the X factor. What's your X factor coming into this match in Spectacular? What do you bring to this that Chandru does not bring?
What do I bring to this? What is it you've seen from me, not just in this year, but just in my career in general? How do I fly? I fly ice cold. That's the thing. Like, you see what Chandru does his opponent. He rows him early, and that's what does him in. That's what gets him. Chan, that's not going to work on me. That's the one thing. It doesn't matter what he's going to do. It doesn't matter from down after round one. It doesn't matter up after round one. You got to stay at that same level. You got to stay on the level. You got to compete. You got to focus. Doesn't matter. Like I said, like, doesn't matter. Only thing coming out of the mouth that matters is the answers. That's it. That's what you got. That's what you got to focus on. And sure. And if you want to try and pull some, phony challenge on me, that's the play of an inferior player. And I'll say that right now. I don't care who's watching. I don't care who's listening. Pulling a bogus challenge like that is a play of an inferior player. So which I know you are. You make that no secret. So if you want to do that, fine. I'm not gonna give you the opportunity. So I gotta make sure my answers. I'll make sure my answers are airtight.
There you go. You heard it here first. There are two signs of an inferior player.
Love it.
Challenges and coming after Cameron Rice of all people
Going after
for
Cameron
no
Rice.
goddamn reason.
He's a
After
great
he
photographer.
did such a good job on his I Like Turtles makeup, you sick son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, and then again, just kind of go over some answers. And, obviously, I think a lot of us here believe that you versus Chandru is going to be the match of spectacular. But there are a couple other big matches. And while I'm sure, you're going to say that you're feeling pretty confident that Corruption as a faction is going to have things pretty tightly laced and locked up by the time the season is through, just looking at some of these other matches, are there any other picks that you feel like very confidently who's going to be walking away with the W?
I need to know what you think about Star Wars. I need to know. I need to know because this is totally unbiased. There's no corruption here. This isn't the singles. This is totally unbiased. This is just Chance the fan. You look at Ace, you look at Alex, you look at Ace is on a roll, and you look at Alex's,
Plus, he's Star Wars.
Star Wars
is your favorite franchise as well, right? Chance?
Yeah, I love Star Wars.
Who has the
Who you
edge?
got?
I mean,
Put it on the line. Who you got? Come on.
It's funny. We saw Ace have a great tournament. Really great one. Unprecedented in the Star Wars division. Shame that all that's going to go down the drain when Damon smokes someone spectacular.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
I can't bet against Damon. There's only one person who's going to take that belt from Damon. It's going to be Laura Kelly, and Ace is not Laura Kelly. So by transitive property of competitors, he's not going to take it. So I got Damon keeping this one. Only one that gets to win that belt's Laura.
So you're going against your Arizona partner?
Yep.
Buddy?
He went to ASU. He's not my brethren.
Oh, okay.
He's not my buddy.
That's James Harden. You're more Steve Kerr. I get it. I get it.
Now that was the best, for me. Like his run at the start of the year, that lit up the whole game for me. Like his, I was.
You should have been on Twitch the whole time.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not going to tell nobody what the better platform.
Didn't that pulled like crazy numbers on Twitch? Didn't it?
Like I think the final was like 12,000 or something like
12,
that.
15,
Live.
Yeah, 15,000.
Yeah, it could be
5
more,
digits. That was unreal.
Yeah,
Twitch is a great platform.
Isn't it, John Barr? Isn't it?
Exactly.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to go to twitch.tv/John Barr to see what full crib.
There you go.
It's not crazy. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But yeah, that match, that match is behind your match. I'd say this match I'm most looking forward to. Well, second. Right. I'm going for Ace. I'm going for the underdog. Like that.
I mean, like you want to back the underdog and fight. He could win.
Basically, that's what it is.
But I'm betting on Damon.
Look. This is not, and I got to be completely honest, Boggs. I know that this is like what we want, right? Because we will. Look, you and I can sit here and say, and we can. I will sit here on this horse. Y'all can go back to YouTube and find it. Boggs and I picked Ace, and Boggs and I picked Chance to win both tournaments in the summer. We were 2 for 2. We picked them both. We were right, and we rode that.
Was that before or after we made the finals?
Before, man. Chance, remember what we were saying? You're not on the show, man. I was saying
we picked you to win IG, and we picked Ace. Wow. Straight up.
Thank you for leaving out with my pick.
That's great foresight on your part. I'm impressed.
Like this is it's momentum, and this is something that I think that unfortunately, and this is a discrepancy that, like, as much as I want Ace to win, it's going to be my biggest discrepancy. In like, if I was in Vegas and I was setting Schmoedown odds, my biggest underdog is Ace. Unfortunately, where it's like it's not where he, even though he ran through this tournament, ran up to this point, everyone else you can say had a different road to get to how they got to spectacular. Ace is still going to be the odds-on underdog in terms of these matches.
It's also just a match
yours is
of,
the pick 'em, man.
I also just need a kind of okay. Well, because of the managers, what wins out, the awful or the more awful. But I kind of need Roxy to win this one because I can't have Swag getting any more points. So
that's fair. That's totally fair because it's kind of gotten to a point where Winston is like,
oh, they won today as well, right? Swag, I completely forgot.
Yeah. So this is kind of big for Swag and corruption.
We're still sitting pretty at the top, but I need them to start fumbling the ball.
This everywhere. Is. And Chance, I'm sure you're familiar with this. This is your possible points in your March Madness bracket, right? This is how many points are left for us to get, right? How many can we still get here in Spectacular? And the door is open. We closed the door on the exchange today, so congratulations to Swag and to Corruption for taking out the odds-on favorites of the exchange and really setting a tone for what this league should be, built up on. It's teams that are deep. It's teams that you cannot have a team built like the Finstock Exchange and hope to succeed in terms of how they run things, in terms of how Finstock run things. He says on a matchly basis, I don't need to talk to these guys. These guys are killers. These guys are champs. These guys are winners. No. Winston, Shannon, Coy, and Roxy, getting these teams together as a familiar unit is so important. And it's something that we see. I think that's what makes the team successful at Corruption. And by teams, I mean your factions at Corruption.
It's the Finstock Exchange is a bunch of eyes, and then everyone else is a we.
What did Bernie say? It's not me. It's us.
It's us.
Right? It's us. Right? And that's, I think, is the motive that a lot of winning factions have taken this year. And it's just a mentality that is infectious throughout all of these factions, is that y'all really care about one another. And you're sitting here, dude, you just had and talk to Laura Kelly. I try to talk to you about this match. You're like, shit don't matter unless Laura Kelly's coming in for that belt. Like, come on, that's what I'm talking about. That's that family stuff. That's that corruption stuff.
Okay. So let me just put it on Chance for a second. So hold on. So be honest, Chance, right?
Yeah.
Singles titles match. Obviously, your boy Colin going against Dan Worrell. Be honest. Where you going? Who you got?
I'm Collins. Duh.
No, not even. Oh, okay.
No, I'm with. Like, I'm.
No, I am as well. I'm going
Collins.
I'll be honest, but I just thought maybe he's see where he's going. But okay, easy pick. Fair enough.
Look.
Think about it more.
I know that
like
one. Nothing motivates you to win more than losing. He just came off lost in team tournament, so he's gonna want to come back. He's gonna want to come back and win one. And we want.
You think Adam Collins do Save the Last Dance?
He might have. I'm not sure.
I think he might have. I really think he might have, because that guy has not been able to surprise me yet. He really has not been able to surprise me.
We don't be the fact on top with no belts. So, we're definitely both going for blood.
Well, I mean, listen, obviously when you're looking at this event, you're looking at a whole bunch of killers. But we got to talk about, of course, the two biggest titans in the whole game going up against each other. Obviously, the closest match, the one that's going to be real tooth or nail, the first weakness, and it's going to be just an absolute just slobber knocker. Kevin Smith versus Brett Sheridan. Obviously, of course, going to be the tightest, closest, cleanest game we've ever seen. How can you possibly go about picking that one? How can you
know you can buy a Flirtenflaus mask?
Right.
If you go to the Skybound store, there is a Flirtenflaus Brett Sheridan neck gaiter, and you can have Flirtenflaus's face
with the head
and his facial hair on your face.
I do not clock that reference.
Oh, well, it's okay. It's the SEN. It's a big Schmoedown entertainment network. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's the network that the Schmoedown is on. And they do a little daily show. Flirtenflaus is also known as Brett Sheridan. And my man's he's got merch. I am just, look, Brett Sheridan might win this match. I don't know if anyone else.
No way.
No, he said that
I'll
before.
break my own bit that I was doing to be like, no, of course he's losing.
It takes a special kind of bad to lose to Brett Sheridan. So, no.
Okay.
That was a bit harsh, but yes. I agree. Yeah.
Back.
I mean, it's the kind of loss that motivated Bonnie Somerville to have a better performance. Certainly,
She had a better loss, yes, but she's a loss. So.
Leo, I look. You were all right.
Probably.
Look,
it's a good chance.
It's probably gonna be Kevin Smith by TK. I'll admit. This is gonna.
If Brett scores more than 7 in the entire match, I'll be impressed.
I'm going to be hanging on to my dream match for this, which was Kevin Smith versus Janine, which I think should have been the match instead. I'll be hanging on to that and envisioning it. No, who would you have put against Kevin Smith? Here's a great question. Who would you have put against Kevin Smith?
I don't know. I mean, Doug Benz would be fun, but I kind of want to say that for a live event.
Oh,
yeah, that's the thing. Like that's going to be a banger when they do that
everybody
live.
walks in and they get a blunt. Everyone walks in, and you have to smoke the blunt while they're playing the match.
We had to do a weed movie slice just for the match, just for that.
That would be fantastic. So we put Half Baked, we got Pineapple Express, we got Super High Me. Sorry, Doug,
high?
you're in the movie. I hate to say
How high too?
How high too?
Howard and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar, all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel
Royal
like
Royal
movie
Highness,
trivia.
isn't that one? Royal Highness?
Maybe.
That's
with
definitely a movie. I saw
trivia.
it in theaters.
I would totally compete in high trivia.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like high trivia is only fun if you're watching it while also high. But if you're like watching
everybody else
the next
is looking at
day,
you like
stone cold sober, watching a bunch of high people going like, "I saw your highness."
But if it's a bunch of high people like miss just like whiffing everything. Because that'd be fun. Get a bunch of people, get them all high, and then just give them like the hardest questions for like an hour.
Well, I think that was the one thing that really deterred Kevin Smith from like getting into this, because Mark Bernardin made his premiere, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago now, back in the studio, and there was an episode where well, it might have been Fat Man Beyond, and now it's Fat Man Beyond, and Bernardin just kind of pitches the Schmoedown as kind of like the SAT or the LSAT of trivia leagues, and he was like, "Yo, they were asking me some really hard questions," and Kevin was like, "Whoa, I don't know these. I don't want to hang out with these guys. This seems scary." And then he shows up against Y2J, and it's like, "Whoa, I can hang."
He's good. He's good.
I think it just depends on what Kevin Smith shows up. Yeah. It depends on how baked is he, and is every Funko Pop behind him Kevin Smith? I think that's the most important thing.
Anything has to movies with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't get a movie starring Bruce Willis, he might not win.
That was still that's the moment of the year where he misses Bruce Willis to win the game.
Yeah. After I think which I mean, just in terms of production stuff, I'm sure the match happened before he went on SEN Live that week, and he just happens to tell the 15-minute Bruce Willis story about Cop Out. He's just talking about Bruce Willis for almost, it seems like 20 minutes on SEN, and then misses the Bruce Willis question in the match. You're like, oh, you can't write this any better. But that's what he's here for. This is this is exactly what the league needs. It's a different kind of match, and I think that's what I hate to compare these two matches because they couldn't be so, opposed to what they were out to do. But the Bateman and Guy match and then the Wildberries match, I can't tell you how much more I enjoyed that Wildberries match. It was just, even though it wasn't up to the level of talent, it was just better. It was, it was a better episode of television.
You need that balance. You need competitors like me who are going to go and compete for belts, but then you need competitors you need competitors like the Wildberries or Brett or Kevin Smith who may not be maybe belt contenders, but they're there to just come out and have fun. Just do that.
And John, we might not be getting any continuation of the show Glow, but we are going to be getting
we should be.
We should, or that or a movie.
That before, yeah.
That or
I've never seen a show get canceled right after getting renewed. It's amazing.
Faster in my life. That was unbelievable. But getting picked up.
We got a season. Oh, no, we don't? Oh, damn.
No, darn.
They did the Society the same way.
That's true, they did. They did do the same thing in the Society.
Well, the Schmoedown seems to be picking up that Glow banner.
Oh, yeah, Brittany Young's coming back.
Exactly. So that brings us to the
T wrestler versus a real wrestler.
And I don't know where to go here because she was so impressive in her first match. I went back and watched it. There were questions in there that were, I mean, I watched also the Power Ranger match where they brought in the Power Rangers and asked them some questions about movies. And I was like, yes, my 13-year-old brother at the time would have done very well with these movie questions and would have done a great job.
But no, they're not pulling punch with Brittany Young, which I do admire that.
She's going to knock him out.
You think she's going to knock him out?
I think she's going to knock him out. That's my hot take. I think she's going to knock him out. There's something about, I think, because Clark was her manager when the Glow match took place.
Yeah.
And Clark was recently on SEN, and I think this might have been about 3 weeks ago, and this was just around the time that this match was announced between Jericho and Brittany, that Clark said, you need to watch out, because she kind of took to the environment, she took to the game, and I think she even watched some of it. She went back and watched some Schmoedown matches before she came in studio. So this is somebody who is ready to compete. Now, Jericho's got what, we say that this base knowledge of like, there's just movies to a certain point where, look, I was a kid, I went to the movies. We all have it. We all have it up to a certain year where there's just a base knowledge full of where we just know what we know. Jericho has a huge vat there. We'll see what Brittany's is. Boggs, are you feeling a certain way about this match? I mean, I'm leaning more towards Brittany. Are you leaning more towards Jericho?
I'll say Jericho purely because of how he played against
you and Leo, right in step.
I think because how he played against Smith, I was super impressed with both of them. Like what they knew, how they played using JTEs. I know that's a basic thing, but just for kind of celebrity, a regular participant to come in and do that, I just was quite impressed with the overall flow of it. I would say Jericho on that. But Chance, I got to ask you. I was thinking of a question. I got to ask you. I got to put it on you.
Okay.
Next season, because obviously Shannon's, she got a tough pick. I think she addressed it in the match as well, where she can only pick 3 players. Out of like you said, the main 5. Obviously, win, lose, or draw, you match in your title match coming. Goals for next season, and do you think is it on corruption?
I definitely want a better singles run next season. I can guarantee that. I'm never. I've not been happy with how I've turned out in singles, but it got some tough draw. They caught some bad breaks, and hopefully that changes next year. So that's like number one. Yeah. Number one goal. I think I've done teams twice. I'll keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If like I should get called to do so. So I guess we're not doing teams for a while. So when teams come back, I'll definitely go back do that. I still like doing Intergeekdom. Didn't think I'd be as ingrained as I am now, but here we are. So I'm still doing that. But singles is my main goal. That's where I feel like I really need to like solidify myself. That's where we need to like really get some legitimacy. On corruption, it might be because no other manager made me an offer. So I might go there by default, but no, I'm just kidding. I love working with Shannon. So she asked me if she wants to resign me. I'll gladly resign. It's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah, she's got a tough pick, right? So
she's got a tough pick. I feel like my position is pretty secure, but it could happen. I could get cut. Not gonna
okay. I just gotta say, hold on. I gotta put a different hat on. I gotta put the producer hat on. Okay, this is host Colin. I gotta put the producer hat on. Okay, producer hat. Billy Bean here. All right, I'm Billy Bean. We're gonna run this thing back. All right. If I'm Christian Arloff, look, I love corruption, like just in you two more than anything that most teams have been able to pull off since top 10 and schmoes in terms of just like consistency and greatness and the Patriots as well. Like you guys are up there on the Mount Rushmore of teams just in terms of charisma and everything. But boy, if he broke y'all up, that'd be some wild stuff, boy. That'd be some wild stuff. Because then he'd have like, oh my God, could you imagine Mike on some other team like popping up with the dog in the middle of Shannon's like pregame stuff if we're still at home? He'd be, oh my God, he'd go like full Dr. Evil on this thing, like inner house warfare. Christian is sitting on a bomb. Like he's sitting on his, I could just blow this whole thing up. You thought corruption and it blew the whole thing up the first time. Wait till we blow it up again. I just think
I mean, the ultimate heel move would be Shannon like not signing Mike back, like
that exactly. And she just drops
Yeah.
him completely, and she's like, "Look, Mike, I
mean-
could see it being you two were sitting, you, Adam, and it would be either Marisol or Laura would be sitting in the conference room with Shannon." And then Mike walks in, very similar to the way Eric Zipper walked into the room the first time. And then you guys have this like,
absolutely crap. Like, oh, did nobody tell him you're out?
nobody
What are
told
you
him
doing,
about this? Oh, Shannon,
Whoops.
I thought you were gonna tell him. Shannon's like, oh, Chance, I thought you were gonna tell him. Oh, Laura, I thought you were gonna tell him. It's just, look, he's sitting on a gold mine of Mike Kalinowski.
He wants story, right? I mean,
he wants it.
That's a
Look,
story.
if he
That's a
wants it,
story.
he's got it. He's got it. Back to
that.
But yeah, I mean, I can guarantee this. I'm not going to be in the draft next year. I can guarantee you that. If Shannon doesn't sign me, I'm signing somewhere else. But I'm not going to be in the draft.
There you go.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Drama.
Rightfully so.
You love it. Total drama island.
Yeah, talking about drama, I just want to say, obviously, coming up to the Chandru match, the drama will start obviously from, I don't know, December, going on backstage with Winston. Obviously Shannon and Mike. They're going to take, even if maybe they can't rattle you, Chance. Obviously, they may try, taking shots to you, but about your manager, about Mike, about where you're going next season, about the picks.
Cheap shots.
You gotta expect this kind of stuff.
I don't know where you're taking shots at Mike. He's not playing. What does that make? What difference does that make?
Yeah,
Sounds like a Jeff Snyder shot.
Yeah, just him as the Inner Geekdom champ. Just him wearing the belt. He could say, I'm a better. I don't know. I'm not trying to give him ideas, but I'm a better champ than he ever was. I'm going to defend my title, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting how you're going to handle it all. I'm not gonna lie.
Ain't nothing Chance ain't ever heard before. Ain't nothing been thrown at him that Chandru can throw at him. Ain't nothing.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just imagining Boggs' heart breaking in two, because truly, like, Chance, you and Chandru are like two of Boggs' like main guys.
Boys. Come on.
Thank you.
So I really don't know how poor Boggs is gonna handle it.
Oh no, I'm good. Whoever wins, man. Like, it's not.
You say that now.
Yeah. See, for me, it's Chance and Paul. You guys are like just the dudes that are, when I grew up, like we were watching the Schmoedown, there were not in the beginning a lot of, the younger guys were working the show, right? It was Cobster.
The ones that made it weren't very good.
Right. It just wasn't there.
Right.
They were in the background, they were helping out for a reason. And you guys came in and just set this tone of like, no, some of y'all out there are just as good as these dudes. Like, some of y'all out there are just as good as the champs, sitting on your couch, sitting in your computer, watching this stuff. Y'all set the tone, and you two are out here just carrying the torch. I mean, like the Newsies carrying the banner, raising it up. Like, y'all just out here doing the thing every year, like raising it up. For you this year, I know that you're not in every match you wanted to be in Spectacular, especially not that team's match. I know that I know that to you is a scar, but I know what you have to do to be better, and that's what I think separates you from most players and separates Paul from most players, because I know there are some teams who would not have reacted the way the final exam is currently reacting to taking an L on the stage that they did to Shazam. And now they're coming back and seem to be, pushing this momentum. It's you, it's Paul. Y'all are this generation of players. You guys are kind of like my, it's like RG3 and Andrew Luck. Not that career. You two drafted at the same time. You come at the same time. You're linked together. Your careers are linked together. We're going to compare you just back to back. And you two seem to be neither of you can take a lead for me. It's neck and neck. It's like you two just constantly keep pushing one another further and further and further up the greatness ladder. And you guys you guys aren't even 30 years old, right? Like, y'all could be doing this thing for the next 5, 10 years.
We're not even 25 yet. So.
You're not even 25, right? You're not even 25 years old. It's like what we're talking about, like some of these quarterbacks, some of these players in the NBA. Like, you guys are out here with your floor is so high, and it's crazy that your ceiling is so much higher. It's like YouTube. It's just like I can't wait to see what y'all do. You guys are if I had 2 picks at the top of my team, it's y'all 2 every time. It's 1A and 1A. I couldn't choose between either of you because I don't choose what you're good at. I choose why you're good at what you do, and it's the brain. It's the recall. It's the moment within the moment that you 2 are always prepared for. It's that y'all are in a certain brand of player who can pick up that whiteboard, hear the question, dip the head down and write. Dip the head down and write. I know the answer within 2 seconds. There's a whole batch of players that aren't in that sphere, and y'all are just levels above. So you 2 keep on going, keep on pushing, because I can't wait, because you 2 are just going to be, I can't wait for that spectacular where it's you 2 in the singles finals, and I'm sitting there like,
I mean,
that's my kids, that's my boys up there.
We're gonna do that dance again at some point. I don't know when.
I can't wait. I cannot wait, man. That's gonna be something else. You guys, that's gonna be something else. Boggs, wrap it up. Give you blow some smoke. Do whatever you got to do. Gas him up. Tell him whatever. Do it.
No, he knows. He's a favorite on our show. Absolutely. One of the best pound for pound. I say every week, one of the best pound for pound in the game. That again. So I mentioned before, like that excitement that Ace brought and Di Malonta brought at the start of the tournament. Chance also brought that same excitement coming into, steaming through that in a Geekdom tournament. And obviously going into that. Yeah, and getting into that team's title match, and obviously that we knew their singles tournament was coming as well. You brought that same excitement, so I'm backing you hard for this spectacular and all the best moving forward, man. But yeah, anything you want to say to Chandru before you? That's my last question. Anything you want to say to Chandru?
I know what you're trying to do, Chandru. I know what you're trying to do. Popping in the end of my team's match, trying to get me to be scared of you. But that's the thing. If you wanted me to be scared of you, you wouldn't be doing something like that. You'd just be out there, just winning and just being you and being the champion. But no, you gotta be loud. You gotta throw yourself into every single conversation, even if it's not about inner geekdom. So this is not the look of a champion. This is a look of someone who's scared. Someone who's scared of losing everything they work so hard to build. There's one person who's gonna tear it down, Chandru. It's gonna be me. You're done.
John Barr.
Come on, the Cobra. Come on, Cobra.
John. I mean, this is what we got. We got the IG contenders back-to-back weeks. I mean, who's giving you? I mean, you're giving the most. You probably got the most unbiased, thing going here. You've seen Chance. You've seen Chandru in the last week. Who's giving you championship vibes? And don't feel like the Cobra will strike, but I know he will if you don't say him.
That's true. And I will say this. I think it'd be a more clean-cut win for Chance if it were a live event. I'll go ahead and say that. I think that if it were live, that would give you slightly more of an edge, even though I know you're saying that, your environment doesn't matter to you. But I think it does kind of matter in like a weird kind of overall game sense, because I feel like even just hearing you cut that promo, like it's a little bit more kind of like that like kind of pro wrestler mentality. Versus Chandru, where I do feel like he's a little bit more of kind of the studious mentality, where he is kind of the person that's a little bit more just like, I just get to be on my screen and just saying some knowledge. Whereas you, I think, have a little bit more of that.
Chance has got a special move, though. You forgot. This is the
that's
Zen.
True as
this
well.
is that's his secret move, man. That's going to win him the tournament. It's going to win the belt. So
it's
I've
right
done this year. This was caught on the most.
Yeah, no, because even Chance, on a completely side thing, me and Colin are doing fan league matches. We need to keep our hands up, and it is legit so awkward. Like you don't know what to do with your hands. Like where
you don't want to do this.
That's the easiest thing.
I'm Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's
the simplest thing.
It's easy. It's base. It's
100%.
It's a triangle, so it's like you don't feel like moving. Yeah, it's
completely agree with that. Yeah, because you said it before, and I was like, no, it's just like a Zen thing that he's doing, But no, it's legit.
I used to be a martial artist, so this is like a very natural thing for me. But yeah, like you do that, it's comfy.
100%.
Hands up.
Yeah, sorry.
Nothing you can say about that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Chance has the experience going for him right now. He's been in those championship arenas. I think Chance has got a lot of stuff right in his corner. I also didn't think Chandru was going to be able to beat Kevin Smets. He's proven me wrong once before. He could very easily do it again. At the end of the day, with a lot of variables, you just ultimately what it comes down to is why is Cameron Rice even the guy in your eyeline? Because it's like he was just filming. He was just filming. Did he say something to you on Twitter? Is there something that did he block you? Did he block you and you're just like, what the hell,
No,
guy?
Cameron
And then
hangs
you're
out
like,
with Roxy
not
way
only do I
more
have to
than
shout
Jeff
him out,
does.
I have to write it on my whiteboard. The first thing that I want people to see when I'm introduced is I have a problem with Cameron Rice. What's the deal?
This is like a weird word. I have a problem with this person. Like, what? That's it? Because I have a grievance. They'll come out with I have a grievance on
issue.
Yeah. I have to take
challenge-
time away from this horror event just to specifically say I have a problem with former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. Why are you doing that? What did Condoleezza Rice ever do to you? Huh?
Welcome to a mad thing. Like I hate Heather Locklear. It's on the board. It's no context.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Man, this was so much fun. Guys, this has been this has been crazy. We've tackled this teams tournament, and we're very much looking forward to this final. This teams tournament is leaning towards who's going to face Shazam. Will it be the odd couple? Will Jeff Snyder finally
Come on, Jeff.
will he have the opportunity to reclaim that team's belt? Because he's the team's guy. He's the team's guy. If not, Patriots, round 2. Who knows? But folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the Ultimate Schmoedown Show. I've been your host, Colin. Joining us as always at John Barr Tweets over there. John Barr down there. It's across the pond at Boggs. Chance, where can the folks find you?
Twitter, Instagram at ChanceWars_91, and check out my podcast, Choice by Chance. We've been doing a lot of fun stuff. We did Princess Mononoke recently. We just dropped our Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory episode, which was really funny. Next week we're looking at movies celebrating the 30th anniversary, which is going to be a good one. So yeah, again, where a podcast is found, Notorious by Chance. And join the Facebook group. We put up polls. We put up that's where you'll find all our first alerts of everything we're doing. Got a lot of fun stuff coming forward toward the end of the year, and also for next year, we're doing a lot of different new stuff next year. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, go check all of that out.
Got that 2021 vision going over there. And later on tonight, you can check out Boggs and myself over on the Pop Culture Universe YouTube channel with the latest episode of We Have the High Ground, where we are breaking down Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian, The Jedi. That's right, folks.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Ooh-wee. I've already seen it 4 times. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I watched it. And
Wait, before we go, do you watch The Mandalorian, Chance?
I do, yeah. I love the Mandalorian.
What do you think? What do you think?
Ooh.
What about the Jedi?
This is maybe the best episode of the season so far. Probably one of the best of the series. So
Awesome.
I don't know.
That's
I heard that Baby Yoda eats frog eggs in one. So
Not in
Oh,
this one.
you know,
Not in this
easy
one.
lock.
Not in this one. No genocide here. And that'll do it, folks, for this episode of the Ultimate Showdown Show. We'll catch us next week as we break down the team's final. We'll be getting into it, and we'll be leading right up to Spectacular because we are getting to the thick of it, folks. It's the end of November. Second week of December. It's coming right around the corner. We're getting ready for it. Spectacular. 6 amazing matches coming your way. Of course, we'll be here to break it all down. We'll have a spectacular preview coming your way. Folks, that'll do it. Thanks for hanging out. Chance, thanks for hanging out. Everybody else, thanks for hanging out with us. Leo in the chat. Everybody else in the chat. We love you guys. Like this video. Comment on this video. Subscribe. We're hanging out. We're always here. If you want to talk Schmoedown, you can find us all over the place. We're in the Facebook groups. We're on Twitter, especially on Twitter. We can't shut up. But, folks, we will see you next week. Bye-bye.